Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to it. This is Upfront with Kaz on a Thursday afternoon. Today, very exciting. I'll be interviewing Rozalla Miller all the way from England, London, England, talking about her journey in the entertainment industry, ups and downs, strength out of struggle, and also creating such hit tracks, some classics out there. And Rozalla's got a new album out, I know. So we're waiting to get her on the line, and we're going to chat all about music, inspiration, and how to make it through these sometimes dark times that we're living in. Ladies and gentlemen around the world, welcome Rozalla Miller to Upfront with Kaz. Here we go.
Hello, Kaz.
Yo. How you doing?
Oh my gosh, all the better for seeing you, my darling.
How are you doing? It's been so long.
I'm feeling emotional.
Wow, so much love here.
Oh, my brother. It's like I haven't seen my family for so long.
No, I know. And we're all over the world.
We're all over the world.
Doing our thing, but we came from humble beginnings, and let me just introduce everyone to you.
Yes.
Guys, thank you for joining the show. This is Upfront with Kaz, with me, Kaz, at Picasso. Joining with me, legendary, one of the dance queens, but one of my sisters, Rozalla Miller. She's had hits like Everybody's Free. And why I'm specifying that track, because that's the track that opened everything up.
Yeah.
But the times that we're living in right now, did you know that the songs or the lyrics in your songs would be so relevant, like with what's going on in the world today?
No, not at all. All I remember, Kaz, was when Hello Peppy Steph Travel. I'm going to be saying that a lot to people who are joining us. I didn't. All I remember was when I recorded Everybody's Free, Faith in the Power of Love, Are You Ready to Fly? All those titles are positive, uplifting. And I remember saying to Tim and Nigel, who were the band of gypsies, I wanted songs that were positive, that were uplifting, that would make people feel good about themselves and take you to how it would make them feel in that moment in time.
Timeless tracks.
Timeless.
I want to take people back to your beginning, and people don't know you started with humble beginning. So before you got to England and released these hit tracks, what got you the break? How did it all happen for you? And was there a moment when you thought maybe I should give up? And what kept you going? So
well, you and I did some shows together in Zimbabwe. You loved your dancing. You always look great and fit, and you've continued that. Obviously, as I see on Instagram, music and being a singer is something I've always wanted to do. I've always had the hunger for it. As you know, Kaz, in Zimbabwe, I did some shows. I was in a band called Grab with Boyke Moore and all those guys, and we were doing covers of songs by other artists and traveling from going to Bulawayo, Gweru, all these places, and doing shows, which was just amazing. But I felt I needed to break out more and do original stuff because I wanted to be an international singer. And then I joined the talent contest, and that talent contest allowed me, I won all of them, and it afforded me a record contract with Grammar Records in Harare. Remember Grammar Records? Yeah.
Remember Uncle Evie?
Exactly. Yeah. And this is the first time I'm talking about this because most of my interviews talk about what's happened in the last 20 years or so, not Zimbabwe. So it's really nice to have this chat with you. And I recorded tracks for Grammar Records, and the Rusiki brothers wrote Party Nights. Party!
Our brothers, Rusiki brothers, shout out Rusikis. The African Jacksons.
Exactly, the African Jacksons. Yeah. And Party Nights became my Everybody's Free in Zimbabwe. It became big for me. There was an English producer at the time that came around, saw my videos on Zim TV, and this wonderful DJ John Matindi. You remember John Matindi?
John Matindi.
Yeah.
John Matindi on Radio 3.
Radio 3, exactly. He believed in Peter Johns. I mean, these guys, Peter Johns, may his soul rest in peace. John Matindi, Peter Johns, all these wonderful DJs on Radio 3 believed in me. And John said, you know, I know this producer in England, Rozalla, you got to go there. And he hooked me up with this guy, and Grammar Records believed in me. And, you know, we all had a meeting, and he's like, I own a studio in Wolverhampton. Let's try and get Rozalla to record some stuff and, you know, send them around to record labels. I mean, I didn't have money, you know, so Grammar Records kindly paid for my first 2 or 3 air tickets to come to the UK late 1988. And then I started recording stuff at Chris Sargent's studio in Wolverhampton. We were sending around these cassettes, trying to get record deals. And I remember Arista, one of the labels, loved my voice. Big label. And I'm like, oh my God, there was Arista, there was Capitol, and they loved my voice. Yeah, we'd love to work with her. And getting these letters in the post, and I'm going, oh, we're going somewhere. And in the next breath, Kaz would be like, sorry, we can't really do anything, and drop just like that. You know, the rejection. But we continued, and I ended up recording an album called Spirit of Africa, which was, I think, only released in South Africa and Zimbabwe. And it happened to get onto the laps of Tim and Nigel, the band of gypsies, and an independent label called Pulse 8, who are now defunct. And as I say, the rest is history.
Wow. So it's amazing how, you know, just, they call it serendipity, don't they?
They call it serendipity. Yeah.
You just never know. And all you got to do is you've got to make sure that you're as positive as possible and keeping the dream alive. So for a lot of people that haven't seen you around the world, like I got to see you, your first steps onto stage.
Yes.
We look at this girl, and she'd be dressing up more like a superstar than other people. So some people thought the girls were hating on you because you were like, you had the legs and everything, remember?
Oh, did it start way back then?
The boys would be chilling at the back, just bobbing our heads, acting cool. There was a place, we used to perform at the Acadia Community Hall, and also there was a place called Bally High, remember?
Bally High, yes, yes.
Where Rusikis were the band there, and then you'd sing with them now and again, and there was a place that we'd all go to every Saturday.
Yeah.
So we had our own little community, and then we all like left the country to find just a way to stardom somehow.
Yeah, to pursue our dreams.
So, wow. So that's some of your background that I'm giving, so everyone knows about it. Yeah. So, okay, so tell us when you started writing this album with the Band of Gypsies, and when the song Everybody Free, when the song was written, when you thought maybe there's something in this track. Did you know or didn't you know these songs were going to be hit?
I didn't know, because all I knew was when I was recording these tracks in the studio, I felt good. I feel good about all the tracks I record. And Kaz, when it's out there, it's beyond your control. It can go anywhere. But I knew we had something because the lyrics were so positive. Working with Tim and Nigel was just an amazing experience, you know. And we were so positive and hungry for it. And I remember the first track we released from the Everybody's Free album was Faith in the Power of Love, you know, and that went top 75. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I've got a top 75 in the United Kingdom, you know. And then I was so happy. And then they released Faith in the Power, it was Everybody's Free to Feel Good. And then that went top 40. And then they re-released Faith in the Power of Love, that went top 40 again, and then they released Everybody's Free, and the cover just blew.
It was crazy, eh?
Yeah, it just went crazy.
I mean, I remember being in South Africa performing here, because I came here, also got into a band and into acting, and I was at a club, and this DJ was like, his name was DJ Christos. He's like, you got to hear this new dance tune from me. And then he played this, but I'm like, this voice is familiar. Then I read, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know this, I know her. But then people will be like, yeah, sure, you know her, you know everyone. Kaz.
It's so lovely to hear the other side of it, Kaz. It really is, really.
You know, it's only a few people made it out, and this is why it's so important to get your flowers before it's too late.
Yeah.
We saw so many greats pass away, and the people actually haven't told them that you meant something to us. You meant something to that small community.
That's right.
You and I are out there representing our places and the world, and a global community of interracial people of all colors.
Of all colors, yep, yeah.
whilst the world is going through this hectic division and stuff, do you have any thoughts about what's going on and how could we be all more positive to help the plight of our brothers and sisters that are
You
suffering
know,
right
Kaz, the one word that comes out, or two words rather, is education.
now?
Education, education, because a lot of what I've seen has been based on ignorance and hate. And it just fills my heart with such sadness. And it's frightening.
Yeah.
It's frightening. But when you educate one, when you try your best to educate someone and try to get them out of a place of ignorance, I think that's where the beginning of healing starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sadly, this is the world we live in, and it's not going to change overnight, you know. But one of the things I will say, you know, watching the news and seeing that the majority of people protesting all over the world that have been joining Black people have been white people.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. God bless them all. God bless
Well,
them all.
I think what's important for us to realize is just as we've come together as humanity and stood up for women's rights and gay rights and everything else,
Yeah.
that this is a time that the spotlight has to shine on Black Lives Matter, because not that Black lives are the only lives that matter, but
No, all lives matter. All lives matter.
all lives matter, but right now it's time to focus on that because there has been more injustice in some places, you know.
Yeah.
So our dream, of course, is to get to the world to a place where it's all equality and balance, but it's going to
Yeah.
take a lot of work.
It's going to take a lot of work, but you know, sometimes it may be uncomfortable to speak about because either, I don't know, someone might feel a fear or you don't want to ripple the waves or whatever. But there's been a turning point. 2020 has been a turning point, and no one can ignore this. No one can ignore this.
Can't. Life is changing. Everything is changing. From COVID to this to that.
Absolutely.
And, I feel a massive awakening happening.
Yeah.
Hence why we're able to have conversations. Sorry.
Yeah, for the better, a massive awakening from all creeds and all colors agree that we are one being. We are all human beings that deserve to be treated equally, no matter your color, your race, or your creed.
100%. So you've been over there for how long now?
Goodness, I started traveling to the United Kingdom late 1988.
So when you were 2 years old?
I was 2 years old, Kaz. Yeah, I just turned, 21. I'm not even 30.
Wow. Hey, timeless.
Timeless.
Yes. So you decided to stay there ever since, and where are you based in England? Whereabouts are you based?
I'm based in London. My husband and I just moved out of London. Actually, we're based in a place called Tadworth in Surrey, which is beautiful. Just so much greenery. We're sort of like in the country, so to speak. So I actually decided to start living in the UK 1990 because I thought, I'm working hard on my music. I need to be here. And then lo and behold, 1991, Everybody's Free became that big hit for me.
It is so crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And someone said to me the other day, Kaz, because when I work, Kaz, I just look ahead. I just do my thing. I just keep looking ahead. And someone said, do you know that Everybody's Free to Feel Good is going to be 30 years old next year? What are you going to do? I said, what? 30 years old next year? Yeah, it's going to be. I thought, my gosh. So they're thinking, you got to do something special. You got to go on tour. You got to do this. So that's got me thinking. Well,
you've had quite a few remixes done at the track, right?
Yeah, obviously, Peppy Traveling, Magnificent Rozalla is coming back. Oh, thank you.
Oh, she's back, Poppy Traveling. She's back. We back. We're back.
We're back. Thank you, Pep.
We had to rest for a bit to let things simmer a little bit.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the new project because you've got some new stuff out there. Tell us about the new project, who you've worked with.
Yes, well, I've got a new album coming out, and I was just about to go into the studio to record the last track for the album. And off that album, we had Turn on the Light, which was released last year, and that did really well. I got a wonderful guy called Jonathan Dahl that just kept on plugging it to all different, very big hit in Germany in 92. Thank you, Sedat. Thank you so much. He kept on plugging it to all stations, and we got about between 500 to 600 stations that playlisted Turn on the Light, which to me, they made it become a hit, and it's all thanks to Jonathan for not, getting tired and doing Twitter and whatever he does, and I'm so grateful to him. And we've released a track on the 4th of May, which is about 5 weeks ago or so, called Magnificent, and we've got about 100 stations that have already playlisted. And I'm doing quite a few radio interviews. I'm doing this with you, Kaz, which is amazing.
So, I mean, I think the amazing thing is that people don't understand how hard it is to get songs plugged, no matter where you are, to get radio to bite in, because radio have the things that they want. And you just need that one switch to go on to get the track.
I mean, Kaz, it's so tough. I better say hi to Danny. Danny, thank you so much.
What's up, Danny?
Danny, thank you. It is so tough. I mean, there's certain stations that I'd love to have them pick up Magnificent, but it's so tough. It's so tough. I mean, it's BBC Radio too, which, I'm praying. But having said that, I've got, interviews lined up with BBC Wiltshire, BBC Manchester, BBC Sussex and Surrey, which has been incredible, which has been fantastic. So I'm thinking, we're getting nearer and nearer. But I think, Kaz, the smaller radio stations, with having so many on them on board, end up making it become the big hit or followed single that you want it to be. So it's not all bad.
Yeah. So one question, do you like to work with the same team of production engineers, songwriters, or what's your machine like?
I've worked with so many different producers, so many different songwriters. I found that way it keeps things fresh. When you have, for instance, all these youngsters that are so hungry to have their stuff heard, I'm hearing things that I think, wow, this is just fantastic. I mean, Magnificent it's a dance track, but it's different to Everybody's Free to Feel Good. It's more poppy, and it's something most people thought I wouldn't do. But I tend to have an open mind, Kaz. I love music. I love performing. Magnificent has been a different track musically for me than Everybody's Free. Everybody's Free was more rave, more house, if you want, with a piano sound, and Magnificent isn't. And the joy of working with different producers and giving them my vocal stems for a track. What's happened, for instance, with Magnificent and Turn on the Light, we gave Turn on the Light to so many, about 7 different producers. And the sounds that came back was so incredible. With just, one was poppy, one was absolute Euro, which was, not really my favorite, but there's a place for it somewhere, and they sent me a sort of a ballad, mid-tempo sounding Turn on the Light version, which just blew me away. So, there's so many talented people out there, and they hear things as they do.
So we need to get a couple of South African DJs remixing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, can you imagine?
I've got connections here. No, but proper. So maybe get an Afro beat remix or a trance mix. Listen, we've got some hot producers over here, so I'll get those separates from you.
Get me the names.
Just see.
Yes, get me the names, honestly, and I'll speak to Gary at my record label, Energize, and we'll send them the music.
It's either going to work or it's not going to work. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. And if it works,
absolutely. Kaz, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And that would be special to have a South African producer do a mix of Magnificent or one of my other tracks. Yeah. We
can help out with that.
Thank you.
So looking forward at the next, I don't want to say 5 years, let's just say the next 2 years. Yeah. What are your hopes, dreams, and aspirations?
Oh, Kaz, to keep doing what I'm doing. I love performing. I love performing to a live audience. And that's one of the things that the COVID-19 has done for all of us artists. It's, it's frustrated us, but, it's a real disease. And we, obviously everyone's really sad at the lives that have been lost. So we follow the government rules and guidelines. But, I had about 70, 80 dates in my diary for this year, which were being filled. Half of them have been canceled and are gone, so, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but I am really missing performing. And then my agent said to me, one of the dates that we had in the diary, which is for a massive festival in Bulgaria called the Spice Festival, that's for the 7th of August. They've come back and they've said they're holding strong. This show is going to go ahead, but nearer the time, we'll see what happens. And I'm thinking that is a first date that's been confirmed, but 2-3 weeks before it happens, we'll see what goes. But that really excited me. And all the promoters are so excited, and we're all thinking, you know, if it does happen and it goes ahead as we're hoping to, we're all going to be like mad, happy people dancing on that stage.
Sure, can you believe it? I can't wait.
Yeah.
To just get and do my thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Spice Festival apparently attracts anywhere between 20 to 25,000 people. Yeah. So we'll see.
It's nice because all your countries are quite close. People can just cross the border.
Hey, let's say hi to Chris. Much love to you. Hey, Chris is from back home. Chris is from back home.
What's up, guys? What's up? So awesome. So the album's almost done. When do you plan on releasing the full album?
Well, because Magnificent's just been released it's just about a month old. We're going to see how that goes, how that pans out. We got additional mixes coming out of Magnificent. So we hope it'll be out there for about another 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 months. I'll speak to Gary. We don't have a date yet for the release of the album. And maybe it all depends on how Magnificent does. So might be end of the year or early next year. I don't know.
That's just simply magnificent.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we go, final words to everyone out there. What's your last messages?
Well, I just want to say, you know, thank you all so much for your support, for your love, you know, to all the guys and the girls and people who have joined us on this. And thank you, Kaz. It's been wonderfully emotional to see you, you know, after all these years. It's wonderful. And let's just keep on doing our thing with positivity, love, and light.
100%. Thank you so much. So what I'll do is the interview will go on to my IGTV. I'll edit it, put it onto YouTube, share a link with you. We can spread the love.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much, Rozalla Miller, for joining us. You're an inspiration. You know, my sister, God bless you. And everyone else out there, keep the spirit, keep the love. We all one.
God bless you too, Kaz. And I love you too. I love you. Thank you.
God bless.
God bless. Bye. Bye.